It was time for a trip to Lake Rotoiti on the Elotri, despite that it was midwinter. For those not local, this is New Zealand, North Island, right next to Lake Rotorua, one of the tourist destinations of this wonderful country. So I launched the boat at Ohau Bay, and being late in the day, I stayed the night on the wharf. Got the boat sorted out, then reheated dinner. The sunset was breathtaking, and so was the incoming cold. So it was out with the tea lighter heater, a pottery bowl with a handful of candles. This made a difference, but the warmest part of the boat was under the duvets. So how cold was it on the Elotri last night? Well, under 2 duvets it felt fine, but apparently the thermometer says it's only 6 degrees. Feels warmer than that. But I think I might let the day air a bit more before I get out of bed. And then set off. The hardtop was lowered to cruise height, but I left the side curtains on. The plan was to head up the Ohau Channel to the subdivision on the water near the spillway from Rotorua Lake. The entrance to the channel was surprisingly shallow, and there was a good knot of current through the channel, but as we wound our way along, it was a beautiful trip. Going from lots of current to none to get in was a good mental vector's challenge. New Zealand has few inland developments where electric boats would be perfect, but this is one of them. An Elotri could be ready and charged at the end of the dock of these houses, ready for an adventure onto the lake, without having to worry about engine starting or fuel. Heading down the channel hardly took any energy with the current now going my way. I paused inside Te Akau Point. What a lovely bay. I can see why people live or holiday here. From there it was east down the river with some lovely scenery, beaches and houses on the lake's edge. I was going to investigate the Rotoiti hot pools, but decided that would wait for another day. So I had lunched at this bay between Motu Maori Island and Paparoa Point. Again, just beautiful, with bush down to the water's edge. From there it was onwards to a secluded gem of the lake, Te Ariro Bay. No houses here. The anchoring is marginal with so much weed, but I also got a line ashore. Now I'd set off with 71% on the battery panel, as the boat had just been used extensively for propeller testing. The flexible solar panels, I realised recently, had degraded after 3 years in the sun and weren't performing as they should. So I cooked a yummy dinner on the induction stove, including using the smallest cheese grater I could find. Watched a film on my onboard projector system, as you do, then boiled the jug for a hottie for in the bed for later. All with the confidence from my mental arithmetic that there was lots of power left. But at the end of the evening there was a big click and the whole boat went dark. Lithium phosphate battery management systems will shut down at low voltage. Now with no moon, no street lights, that was really dark. I mean really dark. So it was a long night thinking about solutions. Luckily, as the sun came out, the batteries did click back on, and slowly the voltage went back up. Now it's a 48 volt system, and it clicked on at 44 volts. By 11:30 in the morning, it had recovered to 47 volts. The forecast was for light nor'easterlies, but of course, my luck, it remained a light westerly headwind. I started off at 2 knots of speed with 70 watts of sun power coming in. As the battery voltage dropped, the throttle got reduced. In the end, I was only using 20 watts from the batteries and 80 watts from the solar panels, and the boat was doing just 1.2 knots crawling along. I could have asked for a tow from some locals, but that would have spoilt the story. At 100 metres to go to the wharf, the battery display flashed and I stopped the throttle and gave it a couple of minutes as the boat just drifted along. I had positioned myself by this stage to windward of the wharf. At about 1 revolution per second, just on sun power, I reached with the boat hook to grab the wharf from the last gasp from the battery. Phew, made it. So it was back on the trailer and heading home. Lots of lessons learnt. Despite the technology of modern solar systems, it seems a pity that they can't get close to anticipating the lowest discharge voltage and so percentage left. I'd set maximum voltage but can't see where the minimum is set. Also, flexible panels don't last well. If these had been operating correctly, this wouldn't have been a story. However, it did show a solar or electric boat can still operate after going flat. I'll be back for some more adventures on this lake and others soon. Please subscribe and hit the bell for the next video coming soon. Thank you.